I remember when I was younger, maybe 11 or 12. I'd drape white sheets or some kind of makeshift veil over my head to act out my future wedding. Yeah, I was one of those girls. Picking out my favorite wedding songs and everything. Hell, I'd even imagine the birth of my first child. I was wild. To this day, I couldn't tell you why there was nothing more beautiful and more fascinating than imagining myself as a future missus and getting kisses from someone who would hold me close and whisper those 3 words. I love you. I blame it on my daddy. That man made me feel like a princess straight out of a Disney movie. And he didn't play. He let everybody know the minute you mess with his daughters would be your very last day. Hearing how he spoke about my mother was the icing on the cake. He say things like, watch how you talk to my wife. I can't get another her, but we could create another life. And if you guessed that he was talking about ending ours, well, you'd be right. There wasn't a soul on this planet that could amount to hers, and he made it known with every breath I saw him take. So I just knew I had something like that in the cards for me. After all, he called me his mini-me. Me and my sisters were his princesses, and my mama was his queen. All I had to do was find my prince and wait for him to become my king. I waited for exactly what my daddy told me I deserved, which was someone who would love me at least half as much as he did. But my daddy made one big mistake, because the death of a father should never be a daughter's first heartbreak. I was 17 when we lost our king, and I thought there could never be anything else to make me feel so lost and confused. That is, until I took a dip in the dating pool. Child, I spoke too soon. You see, looking for my daddy's kind of love had me putting up with some raggedy dudes. And one 2-year situationship left my heart feeling abused. It wasn't because he was a bad guy. He just never knew love the way I knew love. So when I asked why he was so comfortable seeing me cry, he could only disappear and never tell me why. Instead of accepting it for what it was, I internalized the hurt and attributed it to my worth not being enough, to my looks not giving enough, to my wants and needs being too much, so maybe I was expecting too much. A tragedy. Oh, how sad to see me weeping on a carpet floor asking God why my daddy didn't teach me more. Why was he so exceptional in being able to love me like it was easy? I give so much to please, but when is somebody going to please me? Until I realized there was more to the love my daddy taught me. You see, I had a father who showed me how to love in all of its forms. Not only through his devotion to his wife and his children, but also to his community, to his devotion to unity and serving others, and mostly to his art. Yeah, my daddy was an artist. He was a singer, a musician, a writer, and a visionary. His art was where he went the hardest. He touched so many people's lives through his music and making people feel extraordinary. Blessed was he who took a knee and dedicated his life to uplifting others. My daddy poured his love into his art and then poured that into his brothers, into his sisters, into his cousins, and to everybody who would listen. That man's heart traveled through Detroit like he was on a mission. His soul glistened. His light shined so bright that when he died, people all over the world cried about how they missed him. So I repositioned. I straightened up and remembered that mini-me was the baby girl of a boss. And any man who didn't want me, it would surely be his loss. I started hitting guys with lines like, I don't need to be chose, I'm already chosen. I don't need you to rock my world when I just asked God for peace. And if you can't stimulate my mind, you'll never get me weak in my knees, baby. I became free. I let go of needing a partner to stabilize me. And in that, I realized something so antiquated. My creator has creations roaming the earth questioning why they were created, debilitated, stunned, and made to be stagnated over the thought of never finding love. Worth equated to nothing more than, why won't he text me, or why won't she call me, tell me? Regardless of your belief system, Why would you be placed on this earth if your worth relied on the acceptance of another flawed human thirsting to be accepted? 3 words. I love you. Many of us live years in fear of never hearing those words from our soulmate. But what if a friend could be your soulmate? What if your mother can be your soulmate? I don't know. I'm no guru, but what if you knew that letting your soul mate with too many could be, maybe, or possibles could take you on a slow date with self-hate? Collaborate, support, encourage, uplift, unite. These are all words that showcase what love looks like. My best friend showed up to my job with flowers and food when I've been crying over an old boo and she just wanted to see me smile. That's the kind of love I live for. Another friend sent me a handwritten card all the way from Texas just to say she missed me when a text could have said it best. That's the kind of love I live for. I first met one of my homeboys at work, and to this day, he challenges me on showing up for myself intellectually and maintaining my integrity. That's the kind of love I live for. My tribe, my family, my friends, they all stay rooting for me and the gifts God placed inside of me. Imagine being surrounded by people who do that for you day in and day out. That's the kind of love I live for. Sure, I want romance. Of course, I want to be wrapped in someone's arms and kissed on both sets of lips until it feels like time no longer exists. But that is a cherry on top. I am already fulfilled. Fellas, if you're going to waste your time, don't. Ladies, if you think just having a boo will make you happy, it won't. To thine own self be true, and what good is a wedding worth if you can't look in a mirror and say, I do? Love is the collaboration of hearts towards joint happiness. Love is more diverse than you think. Love is drifting peacefully in the deepest waters, forgetting you can't swim because you never sink. Love is art. It's beautiful, but it often takes work. You have to move past anger and feelings getting hurt. It gives you freedom and shelter no matter the distance. I hope I've given some clarity on love's definition. Rest in peace, Daddy. I love you, and we miss you.